Alright guys, so today we're gonna do a short video on watering cacti. When I first started growing drought tolerant plants, this is something I had a little bit of a struggle with in the beginning because I wasn't sure if what I was doing or the way that I was watering was the correct way. So I wanted to just make a short video and show some of you guys how I do it, and maybe get some of you more expert growers out there to leave some comments down below letting us know if what I'm doing is right or if there's something different that I should be doing. But anyway, I'm gonna get this video started by saying that the first thing you should pay attention to is whether your cacti or your specific cactus is in its growing season. You do not want to water your cacti when they are in winter dormancy or when they're simply not in their growing season, because their roots are actually not going to be sucking in any of that moisture and you're just going to rot them, and that is the number one leading cause of like cacti death, is basically root rot. So the first thing I want to say is, as you can see, the substrate for all of these cacti is completely dry. They have not been watered in over 7 days. So, and as you can see, they are under this plastic ceiling that they do not get any moisture whatsoever. So they are completely dry. So it's a pretty good time to give them a good soak. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. You are gonna see that I'm gonna miss some of these guys. That's gonna be on purpose because they were just shipped over to me. So whenever you repot cacti, for example, or they go through any sort of stress, you don't want to water them right away. You want to give them a couple of days, at least 3 or 4 days actually, to acclimate to their new environment and to kind of get over that shock that you put them through by, you know, removing them from their pot and potting them up. So this is a Pharaoh cactus. It's one of these that I just got, so I'm not gonna water him. It's gonna be a good 3 or 4 days before I give him any water. But as you can see, I do get these guys very fairly soaked. You want to make sure the whole entire root structure gets wet, because that helps promotes growth, not only in the plant but also in the root system. And the healthy root system is basically what's going to make your plant thrive. Now we all know that cacti don't like a lot of water, and that may be misleading because sometimes we may think that that means, oh, so when I have to water my cactus, basically I just have to put a little bit of water and that's it. And that's incorrect. They actually do like to get fairly soaked because their whole entire root structure does need to get moisture. What it does mean though is the frequency with which you water has to be very low. They don't like to be watered very often, and the best telltale sign for whether or not you should water your cactus is basically by looking at the soil. If the soil's damp or moist or wet in any shape or form, you do not want to water that cactus. Basically, you want to allow them to dry out completely before they receive any other sort of moisture. But when they do receive the moisture, you do want to make sure the whole entire root structure gets watered. I can't stress this enough. I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but it is very important that you do water your cacti very thoroughly, because they do get water only once a week, so you want to make sure that when they do get water, it counts. I like to use this little nozzle because as you can see, it allows me to get into some of the little nooks and crannies and more difficult spaces without getting more of the plant itself wet. I don't like to get my cacti too wet themselves. I just like to wet basically the soil, so this helps me with that. I like to water my cacti really early in the morning because that gives them the whole entire day to basically bask in the sun and get dry. And also because you don't want to get the skin of your cacti wet during, say, midday when it's like full sun, because the water droplets and the sun will actually burn off your cacti. So you want to make sure you water them well before they're going to get hit by any sort of direct sunlight. And I like to water them really early in the morning just for that reason, so that they can get dry during the whole day. Alright guys, and that's it. They're ready for another 7 days of no watering. And that'll be it for the rest of the summer. I'm gonna keep up the same watering schedule until eventually we start getting into the colder months when some of these guys won't get any water whatsoever for the whole period. So yeah guys, if you have any comments or questions, like always, shoot them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Like I always say, I'm not by any means an expert, so if you have any tips for me, I would greatly appreciate them. So see you on the next one, guys.